You have to use the little mic. It will work. The little lavalier mic that I have, it will work. That yeah, it will fix it. Bring it out. Try it.
Okay. You want me to start? Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome in the graduates of 2025, Tufshin Pei Hey.
Welcome, everybody. Just quickly before we begin, please make sure to silence your cell phones. I'd first like to call up Rabbi Avi Har, Assistant Principal, for some Tehillim.
Mazel tov to all the graduates. Pleasure to be here and a pleasure to have interacted with you for 4 years. During this H Sarah, we hope and we pray that our tshuva, tefillah, and tzedakah will bring a Yeshua to all of Klal Yisrael very quickly. Please answer responsively. I chose one that we all know. Shir HaMalos, Mimama Kim, Krasicha Adonai. Adonai, Shema v'koli, Tieno aznecha kashivo, Sukol tachnunoi. Mavonos tishma ya, Adonai miyamod. Ki imecha haslicha, Luman tivarei. Ki visi Adonai, ki viso nafshi, Lidvaro hocholti. Nafshi l'Adonai, mi shomerim laboker, shomerim laboker. Yachel Yisrael el Adonai, ki im Adonai hachesed v'arbeimo fedus. Hu yiftes Yisrael mikol avonosav. Achenu gabeis Yisrael, ha'nishim bazor v'ashiyah, v'amdim mei b'yamim b'shah. Ma'okom yirachem alehem v'yotzei mitzara l'rvacha me'efer l'ra mishibe l'vala hashto ba'alaz ma'kariv v'nomar amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi Har. Next, we'll have the national anthems, Star Spangled Banner by our very own Benny Feder. And Hatikva.
בת שנות 2000 להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון וירושלים להיות עם חופשי בארצנו בארץ ציון וירושלים.
And now I'd like to call up Rosh Yeshiva, Rabbi Friedman, my Rebbe, our Rebbe, to address the students.
Thank you, Rabbi Hirschman. I have a little GERD, so if it doesn't come out so great, hopefully you excuse me. I've been to many graduations, and I've heard many graduation speeches, and they all talk about congratulations to the graduates and the faculty, of course, who's here tonight, and all the administrative staff, support staff that's here that make Rama Masifta a possibility. And I've heard many speeches at many different graduations, and they all say one thing: congratulations to you guys. You spent 10,000 hours in the classrooms over the past 4 years. You felt like Rama was your home. Sometimes you ate in class, sometimes you even slept in class. So it became your home away from home. And every speech you hear at graduation congratulates the graduates on 4 years of hard work, if you did your homework, and diligence and other stuff. And they all wish you good luck in the future, but they never tell you how to get there. They never tell you how to get from point A to point B. So I'm going to share a little secret. My thoughts. My thoughts on how you get from point A to point B. How you get from what you've accomplished in high school to hopefully what you're going to become in 20 or 30 years from now. It's going to happen, guys. I think there's two main lessons. One thing is Hakar Satov. In other words, to thank people and acknowledge what they did for you over the course of the years. And that starts with your parents. Your parents, if you do remember, you were crying in the middle of the night and your mom or your dad got up and changed your diaper and maybe gave you a bottle to drink and put you back to sleep. And there were times when later on in life you were upset about something that happened in 4th or 3rd or 5th grade. You scraped your knee and someone said something unkind to you and you didn't know what to do, and your parents calmed you down, they gave you a hug, and they told you it's going to be fine. So that's lesson number 1. Lesson number 2 is Hakar Zachet. Always recognize and always be willing to say, I was wrong. In other words, admit your errors, because from your errors you learn how to be a better person. In fact, I remember a reporter once asked Warren Buffett, who was a legendary investor, how come you got so smart? And he said, because I made a lot of mistakes. Every time I made a mistake, I learned from that mistake, and I grew from that mistake, and I didn't do it again. So therefore, if it passed by my house, the words, I was wrong, reverberate throughout the walls. Usually it's my wife. Usually it's my wife's voice. Sorry about that. And if you work for someone else, it's really important to tell the boss, I missed a deadline because it's my fault. So those are 2 things I think it's really important for all of you to learn, and you'll be successful. Okay, there's one other thing also, and that is to make a tie. How many guys know how to make a tie? How many guys can't make a tie? I saw someone outside, their father was helping them make a tie. That's called as a 2-minute tie. Gershon knows how to do it. I learned it from my dad, Oliver Shalom. I don't know if you have a stopwatch. Okay, go ahead, time. there's different methods. If you'd like to try, Aaron, at the last word of this try, your engagement point. The reason you have to make a tie, because sometimes if you go to a simcha, in a wedding or a bar mitzvah, you're expected to be dressed nicely and make a tie. 30 seconds. If you come back in 4 years, I'll teach you how to adjust an envelope. Okay, mazel tov to all the guys.
I just have to lower it. Next, I'd like to call up a very special young man, Rami Kesak, our salutatorian, to address his class.
Don't worry, Abba, I didn't lose it. Symbolism is everywhere, but only for those who see it and imbue it with meaning, said Dr. Goldman. Har Habai Biadin, said an IDF radio broadcast during the Six-Day War. When I started writing this speech, I knew the basics of what I wished to convey, but I wasn't really sure how to start it with a bang. And yes, I have the emoji here on my paper. After some thinking, I realized I'd learned this already. I pulled out my then Mr. Goldman English notes and scrolled, shout out to IEPs, to the writing section. There, I found our different cool openers: anecdote, general to specific, and dueling quotes of destiny and destruction. The choice was fairly obvious, but not just because it was the coolest of the cool openers. This goes to Rabbi Friedman, Dr. Goldman, Rabbi Hirschman, Rabbi Har, my parents, the rest of my rebbeim, my teachers, and my fellow graduates. I'd like to suggest that opening with dueling quotes is more than just cool. It is the only way to truly encompass our time in Rambam Masifta. To understand this, we must first discuss the nature of the duel. A duel is more than just a fight. It is a civilized, high-stakes game to work through your differences. It is an integral part of Rambam that it is full of these duels. You have students versus dress code, Torah versus Madam, Colt 1 versus Colt 2. Yeah, sorry, that part had to be censored. If you want the Rashi on it, you can speak to me after, but I think you can probably figure it out. Teachers versus surprise mid-class assemblies, basketball tournament versus codenames, of course, Hefsa versus Gavra. There's the robotics team versus the rest of the school in the lab, freshman versus deodorant, and the most important one, the Rambam man you are now versus the little kid you were freshman year. Now, do not mistake these duels for conflicts, meaningless fights, or even friendly competition. Rather, these duels are the foundation that our school is built upon. No offense, but duels to solve problems are not really an original Rambam idea. It's completely plagiarized from, you guessed it, Judaism. So, you may know duels by its alter ego name, Machlokes. Either way, it is a fundamental tenet in Jewish philosophy that is apparent throughout the Torah, and I have proof. One of the most famous Jewish Agadotas of all time, the story of the oven of Acme. The story goes as follows. Rabbi Eliezer was arguing with the Chachamim as to whether or not this new type of oven was susceptible to Tumah. Rabbi Eliezer got so frustrated in trying to prove his point that he started drawing upon miracles. He made a carob tree grow. However, the Chachamim simply stated that we don't draw proof from trees. He reversed a stream of water, and the Chacham gave a similar answer. He almost collapsed the walls of the Beit Knesset, and still, the Chacham disagreed. Finally, he brought down a basko, a voice from heaven, or the intercom, proclaiming he was right. And the great Rabbi Yeshua famously responded, Lo b'shamayim. It, meaning the Torah, is not in the heavens. Rather, it is in the hands of those of the sages to debate, discuss, and darshan every letter in order to make a decision. The value in the great Talmudic debates, Talmudic duels, is not in the conclusion. As we've all learned, the question is often better than the answer. It is about the rigorous discussion, analysis, and debate to reach it, or b'kitzur, the friends we made along the way. There are 3 types of dueling quotes in our notes. 2 totally at odds ideas, 2 totally at odds sources, and 2 of the same ideas but different diction. A core value of Rambam is to have different ideologies battling it out. A core value of Rambam is to have students from different sources or places. And in the end, we all come out with the same idea of Torah, Midos, and excellence, but each, to quote Rabbi Ziskin, with her own twist or diction. In the end, the ones that dueling quotes work together to enhance the theme, as we have each enhanced each other's Rambam experience. And for that, I'd like to thank everything that brought about this Rambam aura, from the families to the various different buildings, to all the upperclassmen who taught us humility, and of course to our rebbeim, who taught us not just how to learn, but why to learn. Now for some specific thank yous. Thank you to Rabbi Friedman for grounding us and providing a base of high-level Torah that enriches the school. Thank you to Rabbi Har for teaching us that learning Gemara is more than just chakiras and chibuches, it is a way to live your life. Thank you to Rav Yitz for being a model senior and for making the school environment a fun place to be. Thank you to Rabbi Hirschman for always watching over us and being there for every student. Finally, thank you to Captain, oh Captain, my Captain, G Coin, G Money, G Mien, the Maestro, Dr. Goldman, for engineering everything that Rambam Masifta is, and for making sure all the pieces fit together. Thank you to Ima and Papa Kess for being my biggest fans and literally providing me with everything. And of course, thank you to the class of 2025 for making this the best 4 years of my life. Finally, it is imperative that I discuss Israel. It is a constant value for everyone in Rambam, no matter what their opinions may be. Our homeland is riddled with all of the Jewish values I mentioned so far. When many of us go to Israel next year, take a second and look around. Every stone, person, and thing is a symbol imbued with meaning, waiting to be seen. The Torah and Har Habayit are not in Shemayim, but Beyadenu, in our hands. As we move on to the next stages of our life, it is important to look forward. But it's also important to take a step back and reflect on the things that made it meaningful. As Rambam graduates, it is essential that we keep digging, keep asking questions, keep dueling, not for answers, but for meaning. Mazel Tov, class of 2025, Am Yisrael Chai.
Okay, we'll take a break from speeches for a minute, and we'll do some senior awards. Okay? So when your name is called, you'll just stand up, and we'll clap for you. Okay. Rabbi Friedman, you want to start us off?
The first award is the Torah Communication TCN Kesser Shem Tov Award to an individual that shakes my hand every morning for outstanding character, midos, and derech eretz, Elazar Schwartz. The second award is given in memory of a dear friend and classmate of myself and Rabbi Har from years ago, Rabbi Dr. Daniel Wolf. Danny was someone that specialized in Mohs surgery and spent half of his day learning Torah. He was an individual that was respected by his community in Miami, Florida. And I remember when we were kids, 18 years old, everyone in yeshiva took a blood test, and he got a 95 in cholesterol. I said that, Danny, the first time he got below 100. So the Rabbi Daniel Wolf Rambam Torah Motto Award goes to Mordechai Engelson.
The Gemara Be'in Award, conceptual analysis in the study of Talmud. Mordechai, you shouldn't have sat down. Mordechai Engelson. Gemara Bekias Award, Mastering the Breadth and Skills in the Study of Talmud, Michael Natanov and Elazar Schwartz. Halacha, the study and practice of Jewish law, Avi Katz and Daniel Shulman. Tanakh, study of Torah, Nevi'im, and Ksuvim, Moshe Lowenstein. The Rabbi Saul Appelman Zatzal Masmid Award, Diligence in the Pursuit of Torah Study, Rami Kesak. Dr. Goldman.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Hillel Goldman. Mazel tov to the graduates. The Rambam Distinguished Scholar Award for Overall Excellence in Academic Studies, Ari Kavuria and Daniel Stein. For the study of sciences, Mordechai Jedwal. For the study of English literature, David Mastor. For the study of humanities, Elnatan Chazer. For the study of math, Ezra Masri and Daniel Fellis. The study of the social sciences, Daniel Fellis. For the study of business, Jonathan Pilosov. For the study of writing, Gershon Brill. For the study of computer science, Shmuel Rabinow. The Dr. Howie Gutterman Memorial Chesed Award for Outstanding Leadership and Service to Klal Yisrael, Zachary Harrington, Rami Kasak, Shmuel Rabinow, and Gavriel Rubin. This next award, the Tom Nathan Memorial Award, is named after my late uncle, who exemplified outstanding midos, humility, and service to the community. It goes to Gershon Brill, Elazar Schwartz, Daniel Stein, and Bernie Wiener. The Philip Bach Award is in memory of Philip Bach, the brother of one of our graduates, Matt, class of 2012. Philip lived a life of kindness, simcha, and avas chaim, and I am proud to present the Philip Bach Memorial Kesser Shem Tov Award to Mordechai Engelson, Avi Katz, and Itai Kreitner. This next award is named in memory of David Horowitz, a graduate of Rambam Masifta who recently passed away. His parents are in the audience, and we as a school hope that David's memory lives on in countless ways, and especially through this award that we will, God willing, present at every Rambam graduation. An award in David's memory that reflects his essence. The David Horowitz V'Samachta V'Chayecha Memorial Award for always smiling and bringing warmth wherever you go is presented to Menachem Lazel. The Otzek Basarche Sibor Award for outstanding leadership on behalf of the Rambam community, Moshe Lowenstein and Natanel Mamon. The Hatznei Lechet Award for walking humbly and respectfully in all aspects of life, a true model of a Ben Torah, Ezra Zucker. The Brady Francis Sportsman of the Year Award for being the best sportsman on and off the court, team leader, and all-around athlete, Daniel Davidov. The Pizzala Award for the diligent pursuit of knowledge through the artistic lens, Ariel Sayitsky. And the Tzfil Award for enhancing the atmosphere of our minyan, Schneur Zalman Katz. Now back to Rabbi Hirschman.
The Mr. Jack Isroff Memorial Award, exemplifying outstanding midos and humility, David Mastor, Bernie Weiner, and Avraham Captain Abe Weiss. The Moshe Lipinchuk Leman Achai V'Rayai Memorial Award, outstanding midos and concern for others, epitomizing the ideal of Kol Yisrael Arevim Zelazeh, Yechiel Lipinchuk. The Yomam V'Laila Leadership Award, ongoing and tireless dedication to his classmates and community, Michael Natanov, Gavriel Rubin, and Shimon Spry. The B'Makom She'ein Ish Award, for being your own person and helping others while retaining the personal touch, Gavriel Rosenberg, Daniel Shulman, and Noam Smas. The Derech Award, for being a positive presence, having a positive attitude, and making it look easy, Zachary Babayev and Daniel Pinkasov. The Yonatan Award, for displaying wonderful midos and for being a loyal friend to all, Avi Masri, Tzvi Turk, and Shalom Yavitz. The Chevra Award, for being the bridge connecting others, Itai Kreitner and Nathan Pinkasov. The Brady Francis Athlete of the Year Award, for being the best all-around athlete, Yosef Bruckenstein and A.B. Steiner. The Rambam Ruach Award, for music talent and eagerness to share his warmth with others as he did tonight, Benny Fetter. The Raven Award, for contributions on the court and for understanding that hard work leads to success, Yonatan Huckel. The School Culture Award, for your hunger for knowledge and dedication to adding to the school culture in the endless pursuit of Torah Umada, Ari Kavulia.
It is now my honor to call up this year's Rambam Arista National Honors Society inductees. You guys should come up for this. This is for students who have demonstrated the highest level of academic achievement, consistency over their high school careers. Mordechai Engelson. Daniel Fellis. Rami Kesak. Ari Kavulia. David Mastor. Michael Natanov. Jonathan Pelosov. And Shmuel Rabinow.
Next, I'd like to call up two young men who put a lot of time and effort into putting together the yearbook. I'd like to call up the yearbook editors, Elazar Schwartz and Avi Katz, for this year's yearbook dedication.
Thank you. This year's yearbook is dedicated to Rabbi Shimel. Rebbe, as we stand here today, getting ready to close out this incredibly important chapter of our lives, we really wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the significant impact you've had on each one of us. Your guidance, wisdom, and constant support have shaped who we are, not just as your Talmidim, but as people beyond the school walls. What we're about to read is our attempt as the class of 2025 to put into words just how much appreciation and respect we have for you. It's a dedication that comes straight from our hearts, reflecting the lasting mark you've left on us and on Rambam itself. Without further ado, I'm going to hand over the mic to Elazar to share the class of 2025's dedication.
Let's raise this a little. It's a counter joke. From the moment Rabbi Shimel walked through the doors of Rambam, he became more than just a Rebbe. He became a mentor, a role model, and a true guiding force for every Talmud. No matter what we need, help with learning, advice on life, or just someone to lend an ear, he's always there, making time for each of us. His wisdom isn't just something he teaches in the classroom, it is something he lives, sharing lessons and skills that will stay with us long after we leave Rambam. Beyond the shiurim and his signature philosophical discussions, he brings warmth and humor to every conversation, making every interaction meaningful. His office is always open, a place where we could ask questions, seek guidance, or just take a break, and of course, grab a good snack while we are at it. Through his kindness, strength, and tireless dedication, he didn't just teach us how to think, he showed us how to grow into better people. His impact on our lives is immeasurable, and the lessons we've learned from him will stay with us forever. Thank you, Rebbe, for everything. With much love, class of 2025.
Good evening, Rebbeim, teachers, parents, friends, and most importantly, the Rambam Masifta class of 2025. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Rabbi Avi Hirschman, and I have the incredible privilege of serving as Rosh Masifta here at Rambam. You've been counting down to this day for a long time. Some of you since that first nerve-wracking week of 9th grade, and some of you since you handed in your last final. But now that you're here, take a moment and ask yourselves, what does this moment actually mean? You're closing one chapter and about to open the next. And it just so happens that this week's Parsha, Parshat Shalach, is all about a transition moment like that. Bnei Yisrael are standing at the edge of Eretz Yisrael, the place they've been waiting to reach. But instead of going forward, they pause, they send spies, and then things take a turn. 10 of the spies come back with fear, doubt, and negativity. Only Yehoshua and Kalev return with confidence, courage, and a clear sense of mission. They all saw the same land, the same giants, the same cities. The difference wasn't in what they saw. It was in how they chose to see it. That lesson feels incredibly relevant as you stand at the edge of your own next step. The facts of the world you're walking into aren't simple. It's a complicated time to be a Jew, to be a student, to be a leader. But what will make all the difference is your mindset and your perspective. Throughout your years here at Rambam, you were challenged not just to know, but to think, to speak up, to lead, to act when it was easier not to. You were given the tools to see the world through a lens of Torah and responsibility. And now, the question is how you'll use that lens going forward. You've grown in your learning, in your discipline, in your midos, and in your sense of identity. You've been part of rallies, shiurim, chesed missions, late night work, early morning minyanim, and through it all, you become people who know what it means to stand for something. You've seen what courage looks like. You've seen what commitment looks like. Now it's your turn to embody it. There's a powerful line in the Gemara in Sota where Kalev steps up to push back against fear. The pasuk says, "Vayas Kalev es ha'am el Moshe vayomer, alo na'aleh." And Kalev silenced the people before Moshe and said, "We shall surely go up and take the land." The Gemara explains that Kalev didn't argue or shout. He used words, calm, confident, and purposeful. That kind of leadership doesn't come from being the loudest in the room. It comes from conviction, from values, from knowing who you are and what you stand for. And I want to give you a glimpse of what that looks like going forward. Next year, many of you will be in Israel and in yeshiva. There will be moments that feel incredible and moments that feel overwhelming. I remember speaking with a student a few years ago who called me 2 weeks into his year in yeshiva, and he said, "I'm not sure I belong here. Everybody's learning harder, davening longer, and I feel like I'm already behind." I told him, "You're not behind. You're beginning. Just show up, be consistent, and trust the process." A few months later, he called again. Same student. This time he said, "I think I finally understand what it means to love learning. Not because I'm the best, but because I'm in it." That mindset, the willingness to stay in it, to grow through it, that's what sets the Kalevs and Yoshuas apart. Later on in college, in your careers, the challenges will change, but the question stays the same. Am I going to live with purpose or with pressure? With fear or with faith? That's the challenge for you now, to be voices of clarity when the world around you is confused, to be rooted when others are shaken, to be proud, unapologetic Jews with Torah at your core and purpose in your steps. You're not heading into an easy world, but you're not heading in empty-handed either. You're taking with you Torah, values, relationships, and a deep sense of what it means to be a part of Am Yisrael. Be the Yoshua and Kalev of your generation. Be the ones who see clearly, who speak with strength, who act with purpose, and who say with conviction, "Alo na'aleh." We're going up. We're moving forward. Class of 2025, we are very proud of you. We believe in you, and we can't wait to see what comes next. Mazel tov. It is now my honor to introduce someone who exemplifies these qualities, a student who leads with humility, excels academically, and brings heart and strength to everything that he does. Please welcome your valedictorian, Shmuel Rabinow.
Rishus, the Anhala, our respected families, our respected faculty, devoted families, and my fellow graduates. This week's Parsha doesn't just tell a story. It delivers a wake-up call. The spies, the Meraglim, return from their mission to scout Eretz Yisrael. They confirm the land is beautiful, abundant, full of promise. But then, they say something that changes everything. Chazak hu mimenu. The nations of the land are stronger than us. How is that possible? These people had just seen Yetzias Mitzrayim. They watched Hashem bring down the 10 plagues. They walked through the split sea, and they stood at Har Sinai and heard the very voice of Hashem. And now they're afraid? Rashi says they believed the nations of the land were just too powerful. But Rabbi Yossi Kalatsky, explaining the Ramchal, gives a different point of view. The Ramchal explains that in his time there were three types of avodah zarah. The first says God doesn't exist. The second says God created the world and then he left it. The third, the most subtle and the most dangerous, says, yes, I believe in Hashem. I believe he's real. But I think maybe he's limited by the very system that he created. That system is schar va'onesh, reward and punishment. In other words, sure, Hashem wants to help me, but if I don't deserve it, his hands are tied. And that's what the spies believed, that even God is constrained. And the Ramchal says that's avodah zarah. That's a false god, a god made small. But Hashem isn't small. Hashem doesn't follow the rules. He writes the rules. Our job isn't to wonder, am I worthy? Our job is to move forward, to act, to trust, and to go. So what does that kind of trust look like? It looks like one man sitting at the edge of the sea, a man named Nachshon ben Aminadab. Most people think he walked into the sea because he knew it would split. He didn't. He had no idea. All he knew was that walking forward meant walking into the water. He didn't know it would split, but he still took those first few steps. And once he did, the sea split. That mindset, that belief that courage comes before clarity, is exactly what makes Rambam so special. This is not a school that waits for you to prove you're great. It's a school that says, you are great already. Let's go find out how. The teachers here believe in us before we believe in ourselves. The administration creates a culture of confidence. And the students, we believe in each other. That's why a club for every curiosity isn't just a motto. It's a mission. At Rambam, you don't have to be the best to be a key member of the team. You just need to join. So to the Anhala, thank you for creating this unique environment. To our Rebbeim, thank you for giving us guidance and learning. To our teachers, thank you for preparing us for a life in the workforce. To our parents, especially my own, thank you for teaching us how to stand with strength. And to my fellow graduates, each one of you is a Nachshon. Each one of you can take that first step forward, with faith, with strength, and with confidence. As we move into the next stages of our lives, we are not the spies who froze. We are the ones who moved, the ones who walk in so Hashem can split the sea. I give each one of you a heartfelt bracha. May you always walk forward with courage, and may you never limit what Hashem can do for you. Mazel tov, and thank you.
Okay, and now the presentation of diplomas. When your name is called, come up and grab a diploma.
Okay, the moment you've all been waiting for. Zachary Babayo. Gershon Brill. Yosef Krakensky. Nathan Chasser. David go? Mordechai Eggleston. Benny Fader. When he played before, he was self-taught. Daniel Fellis. Zachary Harrison. Jonathan Houghton. Mordechai Jedway. Avi Katz. Chanel Zaman Katz. Rami Kesak.
Ari Kavulia. Itai Kreitner. Menachem Lazel. Giel Litvinchuk. Moshe Lowenstein. Netano Mamon. Avi Masri. Ezra Masri. David Mastor. Michael Natanov. Jonathan Pilasov. Daniel Pinkasov. Nathan Pinkasov. Shmuel Rabenow.
Gabriel Rosenberg. Gabriel Rubin. Ariel Sayitsky. Alazar Schwartz. Daniel Schulman. Noam Smuss. Shimon Spry. Daniel Stein. I know. Daniel Stein is representing the school at Debate Nationals in Iowa, so I'm accepting this diploma on his behalf. Thank you, Daniel Stein. There we go. Abraham Abe Steiner. Svi Turk. Bernie Wiener. Avraham Abe Weiss. Shalom Yavitz. And last but not least, Ezra Zucker. Okay, Bershus, Rabbi Friedman, Rabbi Hirschman, Rabbi Har, Harabadim, faculty, parents, grandparents, and all the graduates, the class of 2025, right there. I'd like to take this opportunity, as I always do, to acknowledge and thank Rabbi Friedman, Rabbi Hirschman, Rabbi Har, the Rebbeim, the faculty, Naomi, Chani, Mrs. Friedman, Eliza, Racheli, Aaron, Mrs. Carroll, Tammy, Reb Yitz, Coach Beater, the entire support staff, and the rest of the administration, as well as all the parent and student bodies, for allowing me to serve the Rambam community. I'd also like to thank my wife, Dina, over there, for all her support. Thank you. As the students in our English class know, there's a tip for reading. Look for the anima in literature and in life. And that idea is something my wife embodies, and I am grateful for all of her contributions to Rambam Masifta as well. We open our home to the boys, starting the year with the West Hempstead Tish, with her signature Mad Fat Challenge. And we close out the year by hosting the 501 Book Challenge Barbecue in June, and all the times in between. And we are both always so proud of the way you guys conduct yourselves. The singing, the helping, the manners, the menschlichkeit, just outstanding. And we look forward to the day, God willing, not too far from now, when our sons will be sitting where the graduates now sit. So once again, thank you to Dina. I'd also like to take a moment to thank Principal Emeritus Rabbi Yotav Eliach. For his commitment and service to Rambam Masifta. He was the class of 2025's principal for 3 years, and their accomplishments are in large part due to his influence. So a big thank you again to Rabbi Eliach. Okay, graduates, as you know, it isn't a Rambam assembly if someone doesn't get a plaque. So I would like to present a last plaque on this special night. While Baruch Hashem, all the graduates are deserving of even more plaques and glory, I thought it was fitting to recognize someone who never looked for recognition, someone who always acted like a mensch, played like a mensch. It is a mensch. So the Nachshon Award for Outstanding Leadership in Midos goes to Daniel Davidoff. So tonight, the administration has honored individual graduates, but before the final remarks of the night, we'd like to take a moment to honor individual Rambam families as well with the Rambam Graduation Mazinko Award. Special shout out to my father, Judge Ronald Goldman. I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that my mom is here as well. Special shout out to my father, Judge Ronald Goldman, for giving me this idea when I started at Rambam 15 years ago. So, this is in keeping with the concept of chazakah. This award is for families who have entrusted only Rambam with educating 3 or more of their sons and are now graduating their youngest son. Aww. I'm honored to present the 15th annual Rambam Graduation Mazinko Award to Rabbi Alexander and Mrs. Ruchel Spry. In appreciation of having given us the privilege of teaching your sons, Yosef, class of 2019, Yehuda, class of 2020, and Shimon, class of 2025. This award acknowledges your continued commitment to the Rambam Masifta and your confidence in us that your sons, each in his own way, would receive the unique education and warmth he deserved. 3 separate sons, but 1 home and 1 family devoted to 1 school. With the Spry family, including all the graduates, please come up. Thank you. There is also one other family receiving a graduation mazinka tonight. I'm honored to present the 15th Annual Rambam Graduation Mazinka Award to Mr. Zalmi and Mrs. Bela Steiner. Ellie, class of 2017, Daniel, class of 2012, and Abi, class of 2025. 3 separate sons, but one home and one family devoted to one school. Daniel? And now back to the graduates. When asked, what are some of the most dangerous objects in the world, people tend to answer with weapons, guns, bombs, knives. Some people even note that stairs can be dangerous as well. There's something like 1 million ER visits annually due to stair-related injuries, and some people even mention lawnmowers and roller coasters can be dangerous as well. For my dangerous object answer, though, I'd like to offer the following answer: a window. A window's primary purpose is to give not just a fresh breeze, but a fresh perspective. As you look out, you see just how much there is out there. It is there to humble you, and yet for so many people, the window, that portal into opportunity reframing, is transformed into the most dangerous of objects, a mirror. This could be due to light or angle or the type of glass, but more often, it is due to the wrong type of attitude. An attitude that has the uncanny ability to transform something that should be a bridge to connect with others into a dungeon that imprisons the soul in the worship of the self. Graduates, as you sit here, I know your hearts are in Israel. No doubt everyone in this room has someone in Israel close to them, and there are all of them there close to us right now. We all know someone who has spent some time in a war zone or in a bomb shelter these last few months, if not days or hours. And I am confident that as you guys look through the windows, as you look east, you don't see yourselves, but you see others and beyond yourselves. You demonstrated this at your time at Rambam. Every day was Bernie and Gavriel, the first 10 in the minyan, getting us started, and it was Michael running the Sephardic minyan doing the same, leading by example. It was Shimon on his own time, who was always hustling on behalf of Senior Corp. It was Itai, who was the go-to person for Hagba until Menachem got ripped and they worked out a rotation. It was the hundreds of hours Elazar and Avi spent on behalf of the class making the yearbook with, if we're being honest, not that much help. It was Gershon using his gifts to make gifts for other people. It was Jedwab taking us to back-to-back chess championships. On the three-peat, valiant effort. And it was Engelson bringing us back to Model Based In, and Mastor setting the standard by winning first place at the inaugural Model Based In competition. And it was Stein, the great debater himself, posting on Rambam Wide without fail every Friday, whether he liked it or not. The Hamas-Bit staff wishes everyone a good Shabbos. In the interest of time, I'm not going to go through every single graduate, but they all demonstrated this ability to see beyond themselves and give back, and it was truly impressive. Rav Moshe Tarragon recounts in his Dark Clouds Above, Faith Below, Volume 2, a story about the fabled Unit 55, who during the Six-Day War liberated Ammunition Hill after intense hand-to-hand combat. They found themselves linking up with other units at the then-empty Ambassador Hotel. Captain Giora Ashkenazi, the platoon leader there, saw that many soldiers were eyeing the hotel's display cases that contained many expensive jewels and watches. And the soldiers looked tempted to start taking them as war plunder and souvenirs. He declared to them, "We are fighting this war on behalf of Jewish history. The moment we take these treasures, we shift our focus to selfish interests and begin to fracture amongst ourselves." The actor and writer Ethan Hawke writes in his book Rules for a Night, which is basically a retelling of the Rambam Minute, that humility is the ability to see yourself in the context of a much larger world. To see beyond the moment as the captain did, see the history that you are a part of. It is that kind of foundation that forms the wellspring of true Torah learning, true midos, and true excellence. Learning a midos and excellence that is about giving. Graduates, please rise. Rabbi Norman Lamb writes in his Foundation of Faith on Pirkei Avos, V'lo ha-midrash hu ha'ikar, ela ha'maseh. And it is not study which is the most essential, but rather action. This, Rabbi Lamb goes on to say, is the essential difference between Greek culture, Western culture, and Judaism. They glorified contemplation, we glorified actual behavior, mitzvot. The Greeks had many philosophers, but few saints, people who went forth and struggled and won in the arena of life. The Greeks stress creed, and we stress deed. Graduates, I'm confident that moving forward, you will take the values we stressed at Rambam and build upon them. My humble bracha to you is that you will see through windows the right way, that you will think of yourself only in the context of how can I help, that you stay humble even as you achieve great things, and that you achieve great things but know that life is more than things. And finally, that you continue to live Torah values, put those values into action as you grow so that you may serve. So without further ado, graduates, by the power vested in me by the Village of Lawrence and the State of New York, I do hereby declare you Rambam Class of 2025 5785 Mazel Tov.
Simon Tov, Mazel Tov,